Hello Year 10 and 11, it's Mr. Quick here. I'm going to have a go at videoing a practical for you to follow along with at home. Today we are going to be portioning a chicken. Now for the Year 10s, it's going to be your first time round doing this. For the Year 11s, this will be a good practice for you. The reason we do this is because it is a good opportunity for you to upskill some of your practical dishes. So if you choose to make something like a chicken pie, for example, if you were to bring a whole chicken in and portion it down first, okay, you would upskill creating or making the dish more difficult, and that would gain you extra marks. So I'm going to have a go at this. I'm going to try and do it on the visualizer as well, just to give you a proper in-depth look. Okay, it's not that difficult. I haven't done it for a little while, probably should have had a practice. But watch along, have a go if you can. If you can't have a go at home, then what I suggest is that you just watch the video, and hopefully when we're back in school we can do this again as a good practice. The other thing that I like about this is that with a chicken here, okay, so I bought quite a large chicken. This one was £6.70. You'll see that, and we're going to use that chicken to make potentially 2 meals. So we're going to make some southern fried chicken, which we're actually going to cook in the oven to make that a little bit healthier. And we're also going to use the chicken breast to make ourselves a curry. So that's 2 meals. And what I will do, which I hope to show you, is that I'm going to take the carcass of the chicken and create myself a stock, okay, which I can then use as a base for a really nice soup. So actually I'm using this chicken to create 3 meals, which is great, all from £6.70, so that's great. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, obviously like anything, I've put my apron on already. I've made sure my area is clean, so make sure you've got everything laid out so that you're ready. And you've got I've got a red chopping board here, a nice big one. Now obviously you don't have to have a red one at home. I appreciate not everybody's going to have what we have available in school. So a nice large chopping board and a sharp knife. I'm using one of the chef knives that we have in school. Okay, and I'll find that, make sure it's a sharp knife. Obviously then I'm going to go and wash my hands and get myself ready. I've also prepped for myself a couple of white trays so that I've got somewhere to put the chicken portions. What I don't want to be doing is trying to cut the chicken up and having parts of the chicken on the chopping board. So I've got somewhere to put them out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to wash my hands. Okay, you could be doing this yourselves. Alright, so I mean, I'm not going to bore you with how to wash your hands. I'm sure through COVID we all know that it's important to be washing our hands regularly. Okay, so hot soapy water, really important. Alright, so I'm just going to switch the... Okay, yep, that's now on. First time using that, so definitely not too... So I'm opening up the chicken now. Okay, I'm going to get the chicken out onto the board, and I've actually got another tray here, okay, that I'm putting my rubbish and any offcuts that I don't want. Obviously you don't have to use trays. If you don't have loads of trays at home, you can be using a bowl, that's fine. So first thing I'm going to do is carefully cut the string that's holding the chicken together. I'm going to take that off first of all, get that out of the way. So remove that. Okay, so we've got our chicken on our board. Now, I appreciate, the way that I do this. Um, I'm definitely not a butcher, not an expert. I mean, I've got a way that I find that works for me. Um, and it's like anything in cooking, we're constantly learning all the time. Okay, I'm still learning and exploring food and trying new things. So first thing I'm going to do is going to take off the leg first. So I'll show you on this side. Hopefully that'll be a little bit easier. So what I'm going to do is take the drumstick off. So I'm going to cut the skin going down. So I'm not actually cutting the meat here or trying to avoid that, just cutting the skin away from the chicken so that the leg opens up. And I'll do the same on the other side. This is a bit tricky when you're trying to show people. So try not to cut the breast meat, just cutting the chicken away. Now this is the bit that everybody finds a little bit gruesome. So what you need to do here is I'm going to place my hand underneath. I'm actually going to pop the leg out of place. So holding the chicken firmly, and you might even hear it on the camera. So I'm going to push under the. So I've got what I've got. If we think about anatomy here, I've got the drumstick, the leg. Okay, going down to the thigh bone and then into the hip joint in here. So what I'm essentially doing is popping the hip joint out, and that's going to make it a lot easier. So push your hand under, pop. Okay, you can see the bone come out. And then I'm going to cut one side of, I'm not cutting through the bone, cutting next to the bone. Okay, spin the chicken round. And I'm going to cut through the other side. So put some connective tissue there, just cut that away. Okay, and that's my first portion taken off. So first one done. I've got the drumstick and the thigh. Okay, I'm going to place them on my white tray. I'm going to repeat on the other side. So hand on top, holding the breast. Probably a bit easier if I cut the skin away. So pop, might hear it. It's a bit gruesome, this. Okay, pop the, you can actually see the knuckle of the end of the thigh bone there. So, and again, carefully cutting down, trying to do it so you can actually see this as well on the camera. And there we go, we've got the second one off. Okay, leaving the skin on. And you can see the second thigh there and drumstick. Okay, next thing that I do, okay, as I said, I'm definitely not an expert at this. We're going to now take the breast meat off, or the two breasts. So you will feel the rib cage here, what would be the sternum, and I'm going to feel next to that, and I'm going to use my knife here carefully. So I'm going to make a cut through the skin starting, trying to keep close to that bone. Okay, and I'm just slicing. I'm not really adding much pressure here. I'm trying to use the blade. Okay, so just, we don't want to be pushing too hard. We shouldn't be cutting through the bone. And you see the first breast starts to open up. Just be careful with the wishbone down the bottom here. Okay, and we're just cutting away, trying to keep as much of the breast intact as possible. Okay, hopefully you can see there isn't too much on there. I mean, it's inevitable that we leave a little bit of meat on there. And then carefully cut away. Now I like to actually leave, there's the first chicken breast. Okay, so I like to leave a little bit of breast meat, just a small amount on the wing, because I find the wing is just, otherwise it's a bit, there's not much to it. So I like to leave a little bit of breast on there. So I'm going to place that on my tray, and then I'm going to repeat on the other side. I'll do it this way around. Okay, so again, not applying too much pressure next to the bone. and we're just gently working that away. So just really carefully. Yeah, I've got a little bit of skin here just connecting, so just really carefully just cut that away. And then, as I said, I like to leave a little bit of the breast meat, so just carefully. Right, so I'm going to leave skin on for the time being. So I've got my second chicken breast there. Okay, now all I need to do now is remove the wings. Now I always find this bit to be the most tricky, to be honest. So as you can see, we've now got a little bit of meat left on the carcass, but we will, you know, that's probably a little bit of me being out of practice. But we're going to take the wings off now. So we've left a little bit of meat on. Okay. I like to start. So I pick the chicken breast up. I'm now, oh, the carcass. Sorry, I've now got this on its side. So carefully, I'm going to cut in, and I'm feeling around for the joint. But what I don't want to be doing is cutting through the bone. So feel around, find that joint there. Okay, so I found that joint, and we cut away the wing. So we've got a little bit, as you can see here on the visualizer, a little bit of meat on the wing, just to make that a bit more of an actual meal there. And again, repeating on the other side. So feel around, feel for the joint. Okay, we don't want to be cutting through bone. So we're just cutting in between and just watching your fingers. There we go. So we've now taken the wing off. So here we go. So I'll place those all on the tray. So we've got this carcass here. Like I said, I'm going to keep this carcass. There's some really good meat on this. It will make a lovely chicken stock. Okay, I'll hold it up to this camera so you can see this bit better quality. So you've got the carcass here, and again, don't throw this away, reuse it. Okay, make your chicken stock. Right. So what I need to do now, as you can see, I've got my portions. So at the minute I've got 6 portions. I can actually remove the thigh from the drumstick, which is what I'm going to do next, and make that into another 2 portions. So I can make 8 portions out of this. So I'll just show you up on this camera here. So I've got my 2 chicken breasts, my 2 wings with a bit of breast meat on, and my legs here, which I'm going to portion down again. So I'm just going to do that now. Okay, so I was taught a nice little trick that I find for this one. So you will see there is a seam of fat that runs down here. Okay, so if we cut along that, we should hopefully connect through and be cutting in the joint rather than, so you've got the joint there. So cutting through, it says, all best plans. Okay, so we've cut through there, and now I've got my drumstick and my thigh, and I'll repeat on the other side. So again, as you can see, I've got this seam here of fat. Feel around for the joint. Make sure I'm not cutting through bone. Okay, through the connective tissue, and there we go. So we now have 8 portions, which is great. So 8 portions. So we've got our thighs, our drumsticks, our breast, and our wings. One thing that I like to do as well is just remove the little knuckle here. So again, feel in around the joint. Okay, try and work in the middle of the joint. It's easier said than done sometimes. Okay, cut that bit away. So we're going to just get rid of that. There's not really much there. So we've got our nice drumstick. And repeat on the other side. So again, feeling around. So I'm feeling the whole time. See if I can feel where the joint is. And there we go. So that is our chicken portion. So that's portioning the chicken. I mean, that's taken about 10 to 15 minutes. And if you see there, I've got potential for a variety of different meals. So I could do lots of different things with this. So what we're actually going to do